Randy Patterson here with Boomerocity, and on this episode we have Brian Greenway of April Wine. And what a treat this was. I mean, gosh, April Wine, we're going back a lot of decades there, and he's been with the band since 1977, and they're still around. They're still playing music, doing shows, and in fact, they're hitting the road with another Canadian band, Triumph. We know Triumph, Rick Emmett and those guys. So they're doing a great set of shows across the U.S. and Canada. And if you're lucky enough to catch them, go buy the ticket, see the show, buy the T-shirt, support our bands. But so we get to talk to Brian in this episode, and we talk about the past, we talk about the present, and we talk a little bit about the future. So as always, I ask that if you like the interview, hit like. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit subscribe and share this interview with your friends and ask them to do the same. So without any further ado, here is my first of what I hope are many more interviews to come with April Wine's Brian Greenway. Until next time, this is Randy Patterson with Boomerocity. Take care. Hello, Brian.
Hey, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Where are you clicking in from?
There I am. From Montreal, home. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've been there one time. I used to work for the late, great Nortel back
Oh, no kidding.
in the day. And so I had
Was that up in Ottawa already?
Yeah, I was up there a few times. I at the time I was based out of Dallas, and but I'd worked for them for about 20 years. And man, what a very sad day when they started crashing, you know. And and the sad thing is I think it was preventable for a lot of reasons, but I think there was a lot more going on than we know about too, honestly.
Yeah, sometimes things can be too big to fail, but when something big goes down, you wonder, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've read up on it since it all happened, and I mean, there's even talk that there was a lot of Chinese espionage that kind of lent to their demise. Plus, didn't help, they were buying all sorts of companies during the whole .com bubble, and then turning around and selling them for pennies on the dollar, you know. But
There's got to be victims of that.
Yep, a lot of
Winners and losers, according to Wall Street.
Yeah, it can't be as you know, it can't be a win-win. It seems like somebody's got to get screwed in the process. So,
Yeah.
Well, hey, I want to talk about this tour coming up, but before we do, I want to talk a little bit about, you know, your background and history with the band and what the band's been doing and that kind of thing. When you joined April Wine almost 50 years ago, did you ever think that the band would still be alive and kicking when you joined?
Wow, you know, with the first few years, I was hoping it would be that way. And then we took a break in '84. Miles wanted to go solo and experiment with that. I was wondering, you know, I said, man, this 7 years went by awful fast. And then when we got back together in '92, I was hoping, okay, this time, let's hope it stays, you know. And somebody heard me because we're still here.
What do you remember most about stepping into April Wine? Because you weren't there at the very, very beginning, but you were there at some of the highest points of the band. What do you remember most about stepping into the band and joining them?
Well, at the time, I wasn't in a band. I was out of work, as they say, as a musician, looking forward to my next audition.
Mm-hmm.
And I had known them all. In fact, Steve Lang, who was playing bass in the band in 1977, that I had been in two other bands with him. And one of the other bands I was in with Steve, called Mash McCann, had supported April Wine on the road at times across Canada. So we knew each other and become friends. So when they were looking for somebody to be a fifth member, to play guitar, sing, play keyboards, do a little writing, my name came up, and I was asked to join the band on the '77 summer tour. as an audition, and if it worked out, I would stay. And no, I stayed. Thank you.
Hmm.
I felt great. All of a sudden, it was like, oh, this is a dream come true. Yeah, to go from not
How'd you?
having something to get right into it again.
Yeah, have a steady gig.
Yeah. Any musician will say that. Nothing better than a steady gig and a steady paycheck.
Yeah. Hard to find in the music business for sure.
Yeah.
How do you
And it
do you
has its
remember?
bad points. It has its bad points too.
how did how was the chemistry when you first came in? Was it easy to get to fit in, or was there some rough spots, or what do you remember about that?
Well, playing with Steve and we already had the chemistry, and Gary Moffat on guitar. Him and I knew each other and had jammed in different places over the many years. So I had a chemistry with him. Miles, I didn't, but we were in a rock band, and Jerry, the drummer, just legendary. Most guitar players don't listen to the drummer, so I got along fine. We're on stage. Guitar players, they I don't know. We play to our own beat, I guess. But it's other musicians out there say, "How can you not listen to the drummer?" Well, I guess subconsciously I did, trying to find the one. But the other problem I had was learning the songs and then in rehearsal going, "Okay, we're going to do this song," putting the title with the song. That took a good memory test for me. That was my problem there. And even on stage, I had to leave myself notes. Okay, it starts like this.
Man, that's why I took a little music in high school. Was in a concert choir and all that. Took some piano, dinked around on the guitar. Man, just to I just knew that it wasn't in me. So I decided just to be a fan and not a musician. And even now in my old age, I interview you guys instead of humiliating myself trying to play.
So many musicians are so shy up on stage. They take on a different character when they get up there. I have a friend of mine who says, "You get up there, you become a different person." I don't think so personally, but they really see it. And I guess it's what we do to uh, cover our shyness or our nervousness, our
Hmm.
confidence. Other people drink. I used to drink a lot just to get on stage because I felt it boosted my confidence, which was a complete lie. It boosted other things that didn't last long. Which is why a lot of bands don't remember the 70s.
Yeah.
And if they say if
One
you
of the
remember
reasons.
yeah, if they say if you remember the 60s, you weren't there.
That's right. Well, talking about taking on the persona, I remember, I think it was the Joe Bonamassa documentary. They talked about, he's one way off stage, and then when those shades come on and, the suit, it's a different Joe.
Yeah, look at Alice Cooper, same way.
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of very successful artists adopt that persona. It's the same like when an actor gets into a role, they get into that role. They're not like that off the stage, and so many roles they're doing. It'd be interesting to meet them sometimes. You look at somebody like Billy Bob Thornton in The Landman, but then you see him off stage and he's always smiling. I never seen him smile in Landman.
Yeah. That's one guy I'd love to talk to, man, because he's a fun musician too.
Yeah, that's what
But
I hear. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So that song you guys do, just between you and me, it remains one of the most beloved rock ballads of the era. Why do you think that song still connects so deeply with people?
I think that well, people come up to us and say that was our wedding song, or that's the song when we first got together. Uh, it connects. Whoop, hang on a second. It connects them with darn it, technology. Ain't it wonderful?
Yeah.
But my watch saved me. I could disconnect. It connects people. The husband and wife, the boyfriend girlfriend. It connects a memory between the two of them at a good time in their life. Uh, People love to be connected with good memories. Music is like an oral aromatherapy for years. It just you hear a note of something. I hear a song that I love, like, just the introduction of uh, so something like the Four Tops perhaps takes me back to 1968.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
go, oh yeah, it feels so good.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not something that is dated because you can't date a fond memory that you have. It never becomes dated. It's always very special to you. And
Hmm.
we were able to create that very special memory with an awful lot of people.
It seems like you and your peers in the rock business that it's one of the reasons why I do what I do, Brian, is because of that. And it doesn't seem like, and maybe it's because I'm old, but it doesn't seem like music since this. It seems like music since the '70s became less and less of a benchmark. I mean, sure, our kids or grandkids could say, "Oh yeah, that takes me back to eighth grade or whatever," but it seems like it's our era of music that really has the legs. I find it hard to believe that, music created in 2010 or 2020 is going to be as revered as music in the 60s and 70s. What do you think about that?
Well, it's really hard to predict the future where it's going to go musically, but you look at the fact that rock and roll and rock music has come up and down, but it's still there in the radio. It's being driven by guitars. It was always a
Mm-hmm.
guitar music. But every generation throws a hero up the pop chart, said Paul Simon. And each generation is going to disagree with me, perhaps. Oh no, our generation had this great stuff. And Taylor Swift sold more than anybody ever, but she's present day. What is she going to be in 25, 30 years? Who knows? I won't be there to find out.
Nope.
But I'm here now to find out, and so happy about that. We're still here and still revered in a generation of music that loves us. The baby boomers were a large part of the world, and we're slowly fading away. But
Mm-hmm.
still, other generations younger than that appreciate the music too. So it has to have something, and I think it's just the way it always was with guitar-driven rock music. You can't beat it.
Well, and Guitar Hero was a big testament to that when that game was
Yeah,
a big deal.
you never saw Accordion Hero.
Maybe in Milwaukee or something, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bagpipe Hero in Scotland. Eh?
are there any April Wine songs that have taken on a new meaning for you as the years have gone by?
Uh, no. But now you said it, the next time we play something, that might be a thought in my head that might happen. Uh, Enough is enough is a neat expression, when you get fed up with stuff. But that's not what the song is about.
Mm-hmm.
Sign of the Gypsy Queen, Hurricane at the very least, the word of the Gypsy Queen. It's like just an expression of a disoriented world. Uh, we've always had disoriented worlds up and down over all the
Mm-hmm.
centuries. History always repeats itself, just in a little different twist. It's like fashion does and music does. You, you save a piece of clothing, it comes back in style, but now you got to wear it inside out.
And that's if it fits, right? So
Yeah, if it fits still, yeah, yeah. It
yeah,
fits
I
if
don't
I
want to.
don't
I don't
put
want
it
to go
on.
there, Brian.
Yeah, if I don't put it on, it fits. Thank you very much. I still want it.
We could frame it.
Uh, I don't think so because I I've seen that with other songs sometimes. Go, oh, that's what they meant. But usually when you hear a song the first time, for me anyway, the meaning doesn't really change because it affected, like I said, something that touched you in that time period when you first heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that wears off and you go, oh no, I don't like that song anymore because you've changed, you've grown up a bit, or not necessarily grown up, but you changed how you think of things. What's important is no longer important.
Yep. Over the years and the different tours and all that, is there a tour story that still makes you laugh or shake your head or what, cry maybe when you think about it?
Uh there was one time that I used to drink a lot and I stopped drinking 11 years ago and I don't miss it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You get older, the alcohol doesn't metabolize the same way in the body. You start forgetting things and blacking out. When you think you're funny, you're not. But one
Hmm.
time in, well, 78 at the Rolling Stone show with Atlantic Rhythm Section and Journey, I ran into Ainsley Dunbar, became good drinking buddies that afternoon. And we were drinking a lot of pina coladas. And he said, "Come on, let's go down to the catering and I'll introduce you to Mick and Keith." I go, "Great, let's go see them." You know what? I remember walking in that room and walking up to the table, and then I don't remember meeting them.
Oh no.
Yeah, isn't fate just fickle that way? I might have thrown up on them. I have no idea. Maybe there's a
Well, you
reason I
could have
don't
blamed
remember.
it on Keith, you know.
Yeah, because Keith beat the hell out of me. Who knows? That's
Wow.
that's a memory. Well, it's not a memory, but it's a memory. Uh, Playing the Midsummer's Night Golden Festivals in 78 as well in Germany with Neil Young and uh, Jethro Tull, King Crimson, and playing 21st Century Schizoid Man with Robert Fripp and Tony Levin and Adrian Blue on the
Wow.
stage watching us play it. They said, "Are you guys have that in your show?" I said, "No, no," and just playing it. And there's Robert Fripp on the side of the stage looking, interesting.
Tony
Well, it's pretty
Levin's a
neat.
great guy. Yeah.
He really is. Yeah, yeah. I haven't seen him really since, other than on stage. And of course, back then nobody had cell phones, so here's your number. You text me, keep in touch. Now
Yeah.
people do that. And I think you can stay in touch easier if you're given the right number.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like dating too. Same thing, right? So,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
uh,
Here, don't call me.
yeah. Turns out it's some sort of clinic or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
Tony was a great guy to talk to. I talked to him when he came out with his solo album here a year or so ago, and man, I mean, I know bass players get a lot of crap from people, and there's jokes about bass players and such. But man, what a phenomenal bassist he is.
Oh, he's so learned, and his technique, and I love watching him play. It's just, and the same with, oh, what's his name with the big long beard?
Lee Sklar.
Lee Sklar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see him play and I go, okay, I'm going to hear something special if Lee's in the band.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Tony.
Yep. Yep. Nathan East with Clapton, same
Yep.
way. You know.
Yep. Or Rhonda Smith.
Yep.
She was playing with Jeff Beck and she's a Montrealer. Same with,
Oh, I didn't realize that. Wow. So, over the years, what, in your opinion, is the best and worst changes you've or have witnessed in the music business and in touring, both?
well, during the worst changes was the, security at airports,
Yeah.
which was thrust upon us. And we all know why, because of
Yeah. Nine
terrorism,
11.
right?
Yep.
Terror, 9/11, and even before that, shoe bombers and whatever else. Uh, I think that digital technology, it's made recording, not on 2-inch tape in the studio. Now everybody can record. I got a little miniature TV studio right here. I'm talking on with you.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't do that before then. That makes it real interesting and simple, communication wise. But the 2-inch tape sounded great. Going to earpods to listen to music takes away and music being computerized and binary numbers and digital instead of analog. You can still hear the difference. Music sounded better that way, but other people say no, you can't tell the difference. I remember uh, David from Pink Floyd. I'm bad with names. David Gilmour
Gilmore. Yeah.
did a taste thing, a test playing analog with a hidden switch to digital, and nobody could tell the difference. And I can't really either. I get in my car, I put on my phone hooks up to Sirius, or I put on a track that I like, Little Feat or whatever, and I can't tell the difference. In fact, sometimes I think it sounds cleaner. But that background of the vinyl, the needle on the vinyl, added a certain dimension to it. That
Yeah.
it was just there. and you can't
Agreed.
replace that. And it's funny that you really can't replace a needle on vinyl and a groove.
Yep.
It's it's
Maybe AI will replicate it in some way, shape, or form, but boy, it's I don't know. I don't know if I want to give it that much credit.
there's a lot of plugins you can get this sound credible, and but what are you comparing it to? Yeah, at the time,
Yeah,
it's you got to have one there and one there. Here's the A and here's the B. The same with AI. Period. AI is all created by people.
yeah,
Garbage in, garbage out, just like a computer. Until AI starts, well, even create AI creating its own AI, the original AI was still created by people.
yeah. True. Very true.
So I how far did we get away from the tree in there? Not far, but it looks more fancy.
Yeah.
But also, I don't like the fact that you can now have deep fakes where someone could copy me saying something, and it looks like I said it. You can ruin someone's life doing that. That's not very pleasant.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Politically,
That's
monetarily, anyway, how you can take someone's clothes off digitally without their
they, I
permission.
don't. I don't think I risk anybody wanting to do that with me. So
I don't either. I think that would become a horror movie.
charges with mental assault or something.
But even when you go into music being created by AI, I've experimented with that a little bit, and so have other people. And to the point where there's an AI band on country, or that someone created that people were getting hits on. I find it's an interesting tool. If you have a writer's block, just put something in and it comes back and, oh yeah, I hadn't thought of that. But once again, that's taking everybody else's ideas and music and put them all into a big tumbler and shaking it up and come out with it. It's not quite original, but you got to turn it into, a little idea, a little kick in the butt to make you think better, to create something.
Well, I
Oh, I
kind of
didn't think of that lick in that order. That's kind of cool. Okay.
right.
You know,
Well, I
instead of
think to a
sitting down
certain
with,
extent, I think
go ahead.
AI kind of does that in a way. I mean, sometimes I'll use it just to if I'm struggling with a sentence in my writing or something, I might thump it to see what it gives me to jar my idea. I thought, well, that's great, but it's not like me. So I'll but if I change this, it's more like me, and it would be no different than if I was in a writer's circle or something, or if you were sitting around in a circle of musicians and bouncing ideas off. So I kind of view it kind of that way, but
Yeah.
there's just a
Or
part of me that wishes we could put that genie back in the bottle.
Yeah, I don't know how much we need it because as anything, it can be used for many other purposes than what it was really designed for. There's always the
Yeah,
yin and yang of it. Uh,
agreed.
uh, Look at the porn industry. You know, uh, that's becoming almost mainstream now with AI and streaming TV, and you see stuff on the screen and on your television through all the different streaming services you can get that it's the morality in the world is taking a big hit, and I how far is that pendulum going to sweep? I'm not a purist, and I'm not someone that complains about anything, but I just wonder how far down the toilet sometimes is this planet going to go before we decide it's too far.
Yep, we get used to the stench, and we don't think anything of it. I think that's the
Yeah.
sad thing.
Well,
But
it's like your old car. You're driving a car. You buy it new, and 15 years later, it's still you bought the car new and you're still loving it, but little by little, it's starting to break down and you can't do what you want to do anymore, like growing old, and you don't realize it until oh, it's really old now.
yep,
It's life. It's just, I guess, the great circle of life, Randy.
yep.
What can we do about it? Just talk about the weather and complain about it, but no one does anything.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. Oh, it's clouds, go away.
As a guitarist, I'm curious about this because I didn't see it anywhere in any interview research I did. But who were your biggest influences early on, and who's got your attention today?
I started out being a big fan of the Beach Boys, wanted to be a
Oh,
drummer. before the Beatles came out. And then when the Beatles came out, I was a big fan of them, and I thought George Harrison was really great. And I tried to, but I was playing one finger leads on my acoustic, trying to figure it out. And then in 1966, when I was playing rather well, I discovered Eric Clapton with Cream and John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, and that really got my attention. I love the blues, and from there on, it was well, blues rock. There was a lot of blues rock guitar players. I guess I just fell into that stream with the Claptons and the Pages and the Ritchie Blackmores. Uh,
Hmm.
I wouldn't listen to any music that didn't have heavy lead guitar that was in the genre that I liked. Yeah, and for that reason, I missed a lot of bands. When Genesis first came out, I didn't like them so much because they weren't that loud guitar. Uh, what have I done in the last year and a half? I've gone back and become a big fan of the early Genesis because I really like it now.
Hmm.
Because I don't miss that. I'm listening to Steve Hackett and the other guys do all this great guitar work that I didn't like back then.
Hmm.
Who I really like right now, I love Mark Knopfler.
Ah, yeah.
I can listen to him all day long. He's so melodic and so intricate in his technique and so prolific in his writing. Uh, he's like a desert island thing for me. I could just have Mark Knopfler on my playlist for the rest of my life and not get bored because there's so many things he's done with so many people. And well, I saw a TV show with, man, I guess it was Brian Johnson's show talking with him and says, yeah, I sort of wanted to be the Newcastle, the British Bob Dylan in his storytelling, kind of like Bruce Springsteen did in New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
with his storytelling. And it's interesting to see people approach music that way. And Knopfler, he can write such great lyrics. I don't know how, if it just flows out of him or if he takes a long time to craft it and hone it and change this word for that word. I have no idea. And his guitar playing is so special. No one's like him, just like nobody was Jeff Beck. I love Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
listen to
Me
him too.
too.
It's like, whoa, he's a master. The same way Hendrix was, but Jimmy didn't live long enough.
Yeah.
You know, uh,
Yeah.
Joe Bonamassa, I love the blues, but he just doesn't hit me the same way as Knopfler. It doesn't reach out and that tone of that Stratocaster, whatever, with Knopfler, just, oh, that's so good.
Maybe, and it could be the guitar itself. One, each one has its own personality. You could have five guitars of the same make and model, year, and so on and so forth. But the patina that it takes on, from what I'm understanding, can give you that one particular golden tone that the artist is after. Do you find that to be the case?
Oh yeah, I can sit down with five different guitars, all Les Pauls or all Strats, and out of that five, maybe one will talk to me. And that's when I audition a guitar if I want to buy one. I'll sit down with it, not plug it in. Just sit down with it and play it. And if it inspires me, I'll all of a sudden find myself, oh, I've been playing this for 15 minutes, just wailing away on it. And I say, oh, this is doing some talking to me. Or if it doesn't, I'll put it down within a minute because it just doesn't feel good. But
Right.
every guitar sounds different because of the hands, you
Yeah.
know. Miles could play my guitar and sound like him, and I could play his guitar and sound like me. It's just the tone was in the hands. Beck, Knopfler, Clapton, everything. It's all in their hands, the tone. I don't care what pedal you have, an amplifier you have. If you're not that artist, you're not going to sound like them. You can try to, but it's the way they think, the way they play it, the way their hands are. Just no one can sound like the original.
Yep. Well, I think it was Keith Richards who said, give me a crappy guitar and I can still play Brown Sugar.
Yeah, exactly. They also said to be a good guitar player, make sure you can play good acoustic guitar. Because if you can't play acoustic guitar, you can't play.
Yep.
Unless
Agreed.
you can play a good rhythm on acoustic guitar or do anything you can on electric, you're not a guitarist. And I'm nowhere
Speaking
there.
of
I still practice and learn stuff, and there's still a lot of doors that open up here and there that I haven't been down before. And I go, yeah, I think I'm making progress here.
Speaking of Keith, I think he was one of those that would, keep picking up the needle. I'm talking photograph needle. He picked up other needles, different kinds later, but pulling
Yeah,
that pulling that needle around and dropping it back to to learn a riff. Were you that kind of student when you first picked up the guitar?
Oh yeah, I ruined many records by doing that. And that's how I learned. I either, because you could only go to the show and see them play. I saw John Mayall with Mick Taylor before he joined the Rolling Stones. He was playing guitar for John Mayall, and he was no more than 5 feet in front of me. And there was no stage; it was just on the floor. So we're all sitting cross-legged in front of him at the university's McGill Student Union Ballroom. And that night I went home and learned how to do a quaver, do a tremolo, by waving my fingers on the guitar. Uh, and from there, I learned how to play a lot by moving the record around, playing with other people, discussing how different things were done. Some people could hear it better than others. One friend, John Farley, could pick up Hendrix stuff off of the vinyl a lot better than I could. I just wasn't hearing it that way. I couldn't translate it. And going back to how the internet has influenced people, when we were relearning to do our song "Say Hello," I couldn't remember how to do the solo, and I didn't have a record player to lift the needle on, but I had on my computer something called iRehearse. I could go back and forth and listen to it, and I just wasn't picking it up. I like to see someone show me how to do stuff. Reading the manual, I want to see how it's done. So I looked up, learn how to play the solo and "Say Hello" on the internet, and I had some guy doing a good job, and I learned it from him how to play that part of the solo. And I should have. It took me 10 minutes. Oh yeah, my memory came back. That's how I did it. Okay,
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember. And I never left him a note on the page that thank you for doing that. I should have.
Yeah. Thank you for teaching me my song to me again.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's happened to.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes muscle memory can play games with us like that.
Yep.
When younger fans discover April Wine, which I'm sure they're doing, especially in your neck of the woods, but all over the country as well, these young kids that are digging in and finding our music and getting turned on to it, what do you hope they hear beyond just the hits? What do you hope grips them in April Wine music?
Well, it depends who they are. If they're musicians, because I can see the musicians at the shows. They're usually in groups of 3 or 4, and they're looking at you like this, like I used to. Compare it to the couples that are just, having a good time. Musicians now, they're going to analyze the songs. When I listen to music now, I listen to different than my wife does. She listens to the song. I'm listening to, oh, listen how that reverb or how that guitar was recorded or where the drums are in the mix or whatever, I'm analyzing the song rather than just listening to it. That's just because who I am, what I am now. I enjoy it that way. I can appreciate it a different way. I'll never hear a song the way my wife does, and she'll never hear a song the way I do. So I hope that people listen to it in whatever category they fall into and find something about that piece of music that inspires them or they like or generates a memory or a thought that is pleasant.
I didn't have this written down, so I hope it comes out the way I'm thinking it will. Because of how you listen to music, you're listening to it, I'll call it more technically because you're hearing technique and, approaches and such. And if you're like, does it make it difficult for like if you and your wife are going to have a romantic dinner and there's music playing, she's getting romantic. You're going, dang, I wonder if that's a Les Paul or a Strat. Does it get you in trouble?
Fortunately, my wife is very knowledgeable about music. We play little games of, say of a sentence of part of a verse and what song is that, but say it, don't sing it. And or guessing that song within the first 3 notes. She's very good at that. She's better than me sometimes. And but the worst thing about going to a restaurant is the music is playing in the background. She really won't hear it, but my ears tune into it.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking, and I get sidetracked. And she says, "You're not listening." I go, "Oh, sorry." The worst is in a Chinese
restaurant. That's what
restaurant.
I'm talking about.
With Chinese music going, dong, day, da, da, day, day, I go.
I'm the same way with people I've interviewed. I can be in a restaurant, and especially if it's playing classic rock, and I'm kind of like, Oh, I interviewed them. Oh, I interviewed them. Oh, I want to
Uh,
interview them. I need to make a note to track them down. And, so
I
I
wonder
could
what they're
probably be a
doing.
very boring date that way.
Yeah, yeah, I get, yeah, she says, you seem like you're somewhere else. I go, I guess I am. Yeah, pay
Are there
attention.
any?
My eyes are up here. My eyes are over here.
Or it could be worse. You could just be staring a hole straight through her, and she knows that the lights are on, but no one's home, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. Did you take your medication today, honey?
yeah. Are there any current artists or bands who have really caught your attention? You're going, whoa, I like these guys.
I'm really bad for names because I don't know who they are sometimes. They're not back announced and not listening to radio.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but one time in the last few years, I went and saw. Very rarely do I go to a concert and see someone I've never seen before, but
Mm.
I think they'll be really good. And I did that with Little Steven and their Disciples of Souls
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
the Summer of Sorcery tour.
Mm-hmm.
And from the moment there was no opening act that I remember, the moment he came on the stage, the moment he left, I was in a trance. It was so good. I went out that, well, I downloaded the album that night and I listened to it and listened to it. Just wow, everybody in that band was just so incredible. And we were close to the stage, you could really see it. I became an instant fan, you know. Well, the same with Mark Knopfler. The first time I heard Songs of Swing, boom, I was an instant fan. The first time I heard, well, if you want to say Selena Gomez, I think it was Havana. Obviously, it was just that beat. It's just, oh, I love that song. Who is this? You know. But then I found who the artist was and said, okay, well, I like that song, but I didn't like anything else. You know. It was just
There. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
how it was just that you know the chord changes, how it was mixed, how the
Mm-hmm.
arrangement.
There is a great band out of Ontario, and they're called Bywater Call. Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't.
They're kind of like a jam band in the spirit of like say Tedeschi Trucks
Oh, I
and
love
that type.
them.
And
That's one of my favorites too. Is Derek Trucks.
yeah,
He's
oh man,
another
he's
fabulous
amazing.
player. Yeah.
Yeah, and Bywater Call we got a girl lead singer, and their guitarist is her boyfriend. I think. I don't think they're married. But man, are they ever good? And they do some they cover some stuff, but they do a lot of original. You might really like them. They're like I said, they're up near your neck of the woods, a little to the west of you.
Bywater Call. I have to look it up.
Yeah, yeah, they're great. Looking back, what moment in your career as a musician, with or outside of April Wine, you look back on it and it still just gives you chills?
Playing 2 nights in the Montreal Forum at home in a row. That was really good. Uh, just any successful show, you know,
Mm-hmm,
just
mm-hmm,
makes you feel good. You've accomplished something that you set out to do it. It's that high you get after a show.
mm-hmm.
It's hard to come down to, or the high you get after coming off a successful tour. You come back home and you're so used to a schedule after 6 weeks of sound check, show, dinner, sleep, travel, boom, and obviously you get home and there's none of that.
Yep.
No one knows how you're feeling, not even the dog, you know. It takes you a while to calm down. And that's what we do, you know. It's that type of energy. Same for someone playing sports. How do you feel after a ball game that you just won the World Series, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I love baseball.
What can April Wine fans expect on this tour with Triumph? With, by the way, wow, to be touring with Triumph, that I have a feeling that's going to be a lot of sellouts for you guys.
Yeah,
What a package.
they're going to have a real successful tour from what it looks like. I'm happy that April Wine's a part of it. I'm thankful they asked us to be a part of it as well. Uh, we were all friends. We know each other. It's, you know, how good can it get? uh, you're doing something you love. Well, we got a nice 50-minute portion opening the show. It's going to be a the goodies, from First Glance, from Nature of the Beast, from Harder, Faster, a few other things thrown in, whatever we can put in 50 minutes that we can play without having it sped up.
What's
Here's all the
next for
songs we've
you?
done in 10 minutes.
Well, that was on fast forward. What the heck?
Yeah, just like that ad, because we're not be this. It may contain this, guys, your documents right for you.
What's next for you in April Wine after this tour?
I'm sure there'll be other shows coming up. I hope some big summer festivals, some theaters. I like doing the soft seat theaters, and hopefully some other opening slots with some very well-known bands across the U.S. and Canada.
Any new April Wine music?
Not for now. We're going through Miles's vault to see. There's a live album that we recorded in his last show. They're looking at releasing, but we don't have a label right now. So maybe this will capture some record companies' interest, or somebody that might want to say, "Hey, boys, how about going in the studio and creating something new?" Will radio play it? I have no idea. Does it matter if radio plays it, or can we get by with it just being over the net and over however else is done these days? I have no idea. They play 9 or 10 of our songs in rotation, and they were new songs when they first came out. And if we came with new songs now, they'd be new songs, but they say, no, we only play the old stuff. And I said, oh, okay. But who knows if it's a great song, and radio changes so much, everything's changed so much now. You go into it thinking it's one way, but it's like the weather, it changes quickly.
Yep. So true. So true.
Yeah.
Final question for you. When you step off the great tour bus of life up at the great gig in the sky to swipe a line from Pink Floyd, how do you want to be remembered, and what do you hope your legacy is?
I hope people remember April Wine and myself as we made people feel good. We entertained, and people walked away with a smile on their face. And if we did that, then we accomplished what we set out to do, and we were successful. And just being successful in life is its own reward.
That's true. So true. Well, Brian, this is a lot of fun. I wish you were going to be coming closer to where I am, and but I think the closest you guys are going to be is Atlanta, and I'm booked the weekend or the date you're going to be there, but I'll keep an eye on the itinerary and see if more dates get added. And if you get around if you get around Knoxville, I'm in the Smoky Mountains way down south, as the Beatles said. If you get near there, I'll give you a holler, and we can maybe meet up real quick, say hi, and I look forward to hearing April Wine.
It'll be pleasant, Randy. Let's hope that happens.
Yeah. Well, stay warm up there, stay healthy, and let's talk again down the road, okay?
Okay, thanks very much. Have a good one.
Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This has been another fun-filled episode of Boomerocity with your host and producer, Randy Patterson. The theme song is Roll the Dice and is recorded and used by permission from Quinton Hope. Quinton is spelled Quinten, and Hope is Hope. And you can find out more about Quinton at quintonhope.com. Post-production is done by Cardinal Sins Productions. The Boomerocity name, logo, and content is copyright protected. Segments may only be used with written permission by Boomerocity and or its assignees. Inquiries should be directed to input@boomerocity.com. Copyright 2025.